Thank you for joining me here today on Thai Sweet Aroma. I wanted to share with you a recipe for my Cajun Spatchcock chicken. Now this chicken is so delicious. It packs flavor. I mean, when you think Cajun, you think flavor, you think spice, and this chicken is exactly that. If you've never had a spatchcock chicken before, it's basically a chicken that has had the backbone removed, and I'm going to be showing you that process here in a second. But as you can see, it is very few ingredients. You don't have to mess up your stove. It all goes into the oven, bakes up nicely. And one of the things I really like about spatchcock chickens is that to me, the bird just cooks a lot more evenly, and all the skin gets a chance to get nice and crispy, and don't we all love skin? So, so we have a lot of steps to cover. Although it is few ingredients, there are a few steps that we need to cover before we can get this bird into the oven and baking. So let's get started. So to get started with this chicken, we are going to be removing the backbone. You want to make sure that you get all these delicious goodies out. And I like to take just a little of this excess fat off. And as you can see, it's nice and hollow. I use a knife. If you have kitchen scissors, you can go ahead and use those. But basically what you want to do is you want to cut this bone out right here in the middle. And the way you do that is you get a really sharp knife and you just want to cut along the backbone. And then I turn mine, and I like to hold the little tail to start it going on the other direction. Be very careful though. You don't want your knife to slip and cut yourself, but do not throw this away. This right here is flavor. I will go ahead and freeze this and add it to some chicken stock whenever I make some more chicken stock. But now we have a beautiful bird, and I'm going to press down and break this down some. I want to get it as flat as I can. And as you can hear, that bone popped, and that is it. Now you have yourself a spatchcock chicken, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. So as I was drying off the bird, I realized that I did not go over the seasonings, or the ingredients. So let's go over them really quickly. What you have is the bird that I now have drying between some paper towel, some freshly ground black pepper, some kosher salt, some extra virgin olive oil, some of my homemade Cajun seasoning. Now, if you're not up for making your own, you can go ahead and use whatever you have on hand. Just make sure you taste it for the salt content, and you may have to cut back a bit on the amount that you use so that your chicken doesn't come out salty. I also have some minced garlic here, some salted butter, a red bell pepper, as well as some yellow onion that I have diced up very small, and you'll see why here in a bit, and a lemon that I've also zested. So I'm going to carry this over behind me so that we can get it cooking over on the stove. So to my skillet, I've added in my olive oil. I am now going to get my butter nice and melted in the skillet. Now that my butter is nicely melted, I'm going to go ahead and add in the red bell pepper as well as the onion. Give them a good stir around and let them start softening in the oil for a few minutes before I add in the garlic. Now that my onion and bell pepper has softened, I'm going to go ahead and add in my garlic. Give this a stir around. And I'm going to let this cook for about a minute, then we'll move on to the next step. Now that my onions, pepper, and garlic have cooked down some, I am going to make a paste that I'm going to be stuffing into this bird. And it's very easy to make. To start, we are going to add in some Cajun seasoning. And I'm going to squeeze in now the juice of this lemon. And now I'm adding in the lemon zest. Now that I have everything in here, I'm giving it a nice mix. Smells so good. Okay, I'm gonna move the bird over. Now here comes the fun part. What you wanna do is we are going to separate the skin from the chicken some. And all you have to do is just kind of get your finger in. You don't want to tear the skin, but you want to open it up really good so that you can, as you can see, get the sauce in as much as you can. So I'm going to go ahead and take some. I use my finger and then just kind of massage it on in there. And I'm going to use this entire amount. Make sure I get it on the thighs as well. I'm now doing the other breast. Just really getting it in and then just massaging it into that chicken. All that deliciousness. Now I'm gonna turn it this way because now I want to get some into these thighs. So wherever you can, just make a little pocket and shove the seasoning in there as best as you can. I'm just making sure that I got some of the seasoning going everywhere under the skin so we can have lots of flavor. So I'm gonna start to massage it in. If it comes out, just kind of tuck it back under the skin some. I'm gonna wash up my hands so that we can finish this up. So now what I'm doing is I am coating the chicken with some olive oil, massaging it in, and then I'm going to take some of my salt and pepper, season the inside. So I've oiled this side as well, seasoned it with some more salt and pepper, tucked my wings under so that way they don't dry out. The reason you don't want to use the seasoning, the Cajun seasoning on the outside is because it's cooking for a long amount of time and it'll kind of burn like the garlic and the onion, and you don't want that flavor on the outside of your skin. So just the flavor is on the inside. So just a little salt and pepper on the outside to help give that outside of the chicken a little bit more flavor, as well as the oil. It's gonna help it to crisp up. I'm gonna pop this bird in the oven. It's been preheating at 425 degrees, and I'll show you what it looks like when I return. Okay, so as you can see, I have taken my chicken out of the oven. I allowed it to cook for an hour at 425. I took it out, put it on the counter, tinted it with some foil, and allowed it to rest for around 20 minutes. That way all those juices can kind of redistribute back up in the meat. And what I'm doing now is I'm carving it, but I want to show you, we'll use this piece. Look at all of that delicious flavor under that skin. And one thing you might want to keep in mind is that if you are using a bigger chicken, you will want to allow it to cook for just a little bit longer. Just kind of check it here and there to make sure that it's cooked all the way through. I'm now taking some of these delicious juices off of this pan. You don't want to throw away all these drippings. So I'm just garnishing it with a little cilantro and green onions, and there you have it, my Cajun Spatchcock chicken. And it smells so, so good. Can't wait to try it. I'm gonna steal a piece. Want some skin as well. Some juices. The cayenne is not too overpowering. You have a good smokiness from the paprika. The lemon really helps to balance all those spices and flavors. So this chicken was so easy to make. You have to give this recipe a try. You can find the written recipe over on my blog at myinspiredaccounts.com, and Thank you so much for visiting me. I hope to see you again next time. Bye. Bye.